The story takes place in Chicago, where I live in a family with a long-standing tradition in finance and real estate. My name is Sarah, a young woman who decided to follow a path in art and creative business, which was in contrast to my family's expectations. I received a cold message from my mother about a family meeting. I felt like I was being treated like an employee in the family company, not as their daughter. I decided to attend the family meeting, feeling isolated and unwelcome. I walked into the living room with a heart full of anxiety. The tension in the room was palpable, as if every breath I took was being scrutinized. The cold stares from my family made me feel like a stranger in the very house that used to be my home. My mother, Clara, said nothing, sitting silently on the sofa, her eyes downcast, hands tightly clenched. My brother, Mark, stood in the corner of the room, his face showing clear dissatisfaction. My father, Robert, stood near the window, his gaze as stern as always. He was the one whose decisions governed the family. The tension in the room continued to rise, making it hard for me to breathe. No one spoke until my mother finally said, "Sarah, we have discussed it, and we've made a decision. The family can no longer maintain financial ties with you." Her words hit me like a slap. Everything I had worked for seemed meaningless now. My mother continued, "Your job is not worthy of this family. Your career damages our reputation. You've ruined everything that our ancestors built." Her words were like a knife cutting through my heart, severing every bit of trust one had tried to build within this family. I didn't say anything, but my heart ached. My mother, the person I had always respected, was now turning her back on me just because I chose a different path, one not aligned with the family's wishes. I looked into the eyes of each family member. Mark, the brother I had always trusted, now looked at me with contempt. Noah, the brother I had always loved, now appeared cold and indifferent. I felt a deep sense of separation. When my mother placed a piece of paper on the table with dark words written on it, I knew that this decision could not be changed. It was a document severing ties with the family, cutting off all financial support, removing every privilege and relationship I once had. I stared at those words, unable to believe my eyes. I couldn't understand why my family was doing this to me. All the sacrifices and efforts I had put in now seemed pointless. Despite the anger boiling inside me, I didn't protest. I quietly signed the paper, my hands trembling. This was a release I never expected, but now, seeing my name on that paper, I felt a sense of relief. Though it hurt, I knew it was time for me to follow my own path, no longer bound by expectations that were never meant for me. My family didn't say anything more, just silently watched as I walked away. As I stood up and left the room, a feeling of freedom and release enveloped me, though my heart was still filled with sadness. I had lost my family, but I had found strength within myself. After signing the papers to sever ties, I returned to my workshop, the place where I had once found peace in the art I created. Despite the deep sadness within me, I didn't allow myself to fall apart. Every day, I dedicated hours to my work, creating handcrafted pieces from recycled materials I had found. Watercolor paintings made from glass shards, wooden tables crafted from old trees, sculptures made from discarded metal, all of it contained the passion and creativity I had been pursuing for years. Though the work wasn't easy, and the late nights spent completing the pieces left me exhausted, I didn't let anything stop me. My workshop was small, not luxurious, but it was this simplicity that led to the creation of unique pieces I was proud of. I believed that one day, others would recognize the value in my work, even though my family had turned their back on me. Lucy, my best friend and longtime business partner, came by one day to check on my progress. When she heard about me signing the papers to sever ties with my family without protest, Lucy was taken aback, her surprise unmistakable. "Why didn't you fight back, Sarah? Why did you let them push you out like that?" Lucy asked, her voice filled with concern. I smiled softly, my eyes focused on the pieces in front of me. "I can't change them, Lucy. They made their decision, and I respect that. But I also have my own path to follow. I don't need their recognition to succeed," I said with certainty, no hesitation in my voice. "This is the path they've chosen, and I'll prove to them that I can succeed without them." Lucy still couldn't help but feel worried, but she could also sense the determination in my voice. She knew I had gone through a lot of pain, but it was my determination and persistence that made her feel more confident than ever. Despite my family abandoning me, I didn't back down. I would make them realize that my choice was the right one. I continued my work with a strong belief that one day my creations would be recognized and become proof of my determination and inner strength. I didn't need my family's help. It was my perseverance and passion that helped me overcome all difficulties. I knew, one day, success would come, and my family would have to reconsider their decisions. After countless efforts that continuously brought success, I finally received the recognition I had longed for. One day, while I was working in my studio, I received an unexpected call from Design Trends, a well-known interior design magazine. The representative from the magazine informed me that they wanted to write an article about me and my company, describing me as an artist and a pioneer in using recycled materials to create sustainable interior design pieces. A wave of happiness and pride surged within me. After all the years of being rejected by my family, I was now being recognized and honored by professionals in the industry. The article was published, and I quickly became a well-known name in the design world. Images of my creations, tables made from recycled wood, chandeliers made from old glass, and art pieces created from discarded materials, appeared on magazine covers, drawing the attention of many famous brands. With this article, my reputation spread. International brands and high-end stores began reaching out to me to place orders for the unique collections I had created. Large contracts from brands in Paris, New York, and Tokyo flooded in, making my company stronger than ever. I was no longer a small artist in a workshop, but had become a major brand with influence in the sustainable design industry. My company was no longer just about creating art. I had built a business empire with global partners. The combination of art and business not only earned me respect but also financial success. I looked back at what I had done, from a small workshop filled with dreams to an internationally recognized company. But I knew that, no matter what, I would always stay true to the path I had chosen, sustainable design. But when success came, the past never really left. A week after the article was published, my phone began receiving calls from my family, people I hadn't been in touch with since our bitter parting. First, I received a brief message from my mother, "Sarah, we need to talk. The family is in trouble." A sense of doubt and worry rose within me. I wasn't easily able to forgive the pain my family had caused, but I couldn't deny the change within me. How long had it been since I felt like I was part of this family? Even though I had received recognition from society and success in my career, a part of me still longed for acceptance from my family. Eventually, I decided to agree to the meeting. My mother, along with my siblings, were all present at the meeting. They no longer criticized my work but instead offered sincere apologies. My mother, Clara, with red eyes and a trembling voice, said, "You were right. We were wrong not to believe in you. We need your help." I looked into the faces of my mother and siblings, the people who had once looked down on me, and felt the change in the way they viewed me. No longer was there contempt, but instead recognition and a glimmer of hope. They had realized that the family business was facing a severe financial crisis. Unpayable debts, along with the rapid changes in the automobile industry, had pushed their company into a dangerous situation. Although the apology and softened attitude from my family moved me to some extent, I wasn't quick to forgive. "We need to make one thing clear," I began, with a rational tone. "You abandoned me. You signed papers severing your ties with me and called me a traitor. Now, you need to admit that I am a true partner, not just a tool to save you from trouble." My determination took my family by surprise. Although they had tried everything to apologize and ask for my help, now I wasn't just a daughter, but a person with power and influence in the business world. I knew that if I was to help them, I had to take control of the situation and set clear conditions. I wasn't just an artist anymore, I was the one holding power and control, and I wouldn't let my family treat me as a tool any longer. The conditions I set would mark a turning point, not just in my career, but in my relationship with my family. I sat facing my family, my hands tightly clasped, my gaze unwavering. The expectant looks from my parents and siblings only made the tension in the room thicker. Their apologies still echoed in my mind, but the truth was, I couldn't easily forget what they had done. I couldn't just accept simple apologies. If they really wanted me back and to help, they would have to accept the conditions I set. "Before I decide to help you, we need to clarify the future of this company," I started, my voice calm but firm. "If this company wants to survive and grow, it can't continue the way it has been. The family business must change, not just in form, but in how it operates." All eyes in the room turned to me, and I knew my decision would completely shift the dynamics of the family. "I'll help you, but with one condition: this company must transform into a sustainable electric vehicle brand, called Green Tech Motors," I said. "We will no longer be a traditional car manufacturing company. Instead, we will be pioneers in the sustainable electric vehicle industry." My family seemed surprised, but they didn't dare to object. Such a big change was unimaginable to them, but I knew that this was the opportunity for the family business to be reborn and grow in the future. I continued, "I demand to have full control of the company as CEO, with 51% of the shares. None of you are allowed to interfere with my management decisions." A long silence stretched across the room, and each member of my family felt the gravity of my request. My father, Robert, was the first to break the silence. "You can't ask for that much, Sarah," he said, his voice slightly worried. "This company has been built over many years, and we can't just change everything because of an idea." "If you want my help, I will do it my way," I replied. "This company can't continue down the same old path, or it will wither. You've missed your opportunity all these years. Now, I will be the one to lead this change." My words came as a strong shock to my family. My mother, Clara, no longer held her usual air of arrogance. She just sat in silence, reflecting on everything that had happened. Mark, my brother, seemed hesitant but remained quiet. Noah, my younger brother, no longer appeared indifferent. Instead, his eyes reflected worry. Although my family had not fully accepted my demands, they knew they had little choice. The company was in crisis, and if it didn't change, it wouldn't survive. I could feel the change in them. There was no more pride, only disappointment and concern. I continued, "You can be part of the company, but I will have the final say. You won't interfere with its development or strategy. If you accept this, we can continue working together." Robert looked at me intently, then sighed, his hands gripping the table. "All right, Sarah. If this is the only way to save the company, then we agree." His words were an acceptance, though not an easy one. I felt a sense of relief, but I knew the road ahead would still be long. I would have to prove that my decision was the right one. Now, the company would no longer just be a part of my family, it would be a symbol of change, rebirth, and a sustainable future. After my family agreed to my terms, the transformation of the family business began to happen quickly. I implemented bold, new strategies and started building the Green Tech Motors brand. I overhauled all production activities, from researching and developing sustainable electric vehicles to reorganizing the management system. The first green tech electric cars were produced with modern designs, environmentally friendly features, and superior performance. The company began attracting attention from the media and customers, who started to recognize the innovation I was bringing. International partners and investors began to seek out Green Tech Motors. I was not just running the company, I was also the face of a new trend in the automotive industry. I asserted myself as a leader with a far-reaching vision and the ability to guide the company through any challenge. 1 year after Green Tech Motors transitioned into a sustainable electric vehicle brand, I had transformed the company into one of the fastest-growing names in the industry. The company not only survived but led the trend in environmentally friendly electric vehicles. The new lines of green tech cars were enthusiastically received by the market, from high-end car dealerships to international distributors. I noticed a clear difference from the moment I signed on with the company. My perseverance and strategic vision had truly brought results beyond expectations. Meanwhile, my family had also found their role in the company. They no longer interfered with important decisions, but they had come to realize my value and leadership. I had not only rebuilt the company, but I had also proven that the power of innovation and a sound strategy could pull the company out of crisis and make it stronger. Even though the company had succeeded, I continued to create recycled art pieces, keeping my creative passion alive. I wasn't just a leader in the electric vehicle industry, I was also a symbol of rebirth and perseverance. I inspired others with the power of independence and determination, proving that you don't need anyone's recognition to succeed. My story ended with the realization that my value wasn't in the acceptance of my family or society, but in my ability to forge my own path and succeed. I didn't need my family's recognition to know that I had done the right thing. My rebirth was not just a career success, but a powerful testament to inner strength and independence. The family business didn't just revive, it grew strong, making a mark in the sustainable electric vehicle industry. I succeeded not only in my career but in proving my worth. I had not only reclaimed power from my family but had built a strong brand, affirming my independence and determination. If you like this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interesting stories. Thank you for watching. Rocket.